Well, everyone, we're back.
We're back.
This is our week or so update. It's been a little more than a week since
Yes.
we arrived in Ecuador. Today is Saturday, and wanted to give you a little update about how our first week has gone and the things we've been doing. So, LaShawn, would you like to start
How's our week been going? It's been going great.
off?
I have really no complaints other than a few hiccups at some of the restaurants that people don't know about me. I am fearful of cats, and I felt like at one of the restaurants I got bombarded. Felt a little under attack by a few cats, but we'll get to that. Go ahead, Steve.
Other than that, we have been doing a little random shopping. We've gone to Mall del Sol. It was Mall del Sol.
Yeah, Mall del Sol.
We actually went there twice. Little window shopping. Went to the Mega Maxi there a couple times just to get a feel of, shopping in a grocery store here in Ecuador. We also went to a Mi Commissariato. It was the first day we were here or second?
It was the first day.
Okay. Really just to get a feel of just doing some random grocery shopping here in Ecuador. We know it's much cheaper to go to the smaller markets. Besides that, we have been doing a little walking, actually a lot of walking. Here in Guayaquil. We're not the super adventurous type, so we haven't been all over the place. Just some really in the area that we've been staying in. We've been doing a lot of walking right here at Malecon 2000.
And we went to the artisanal.
The artisanal what was it called? Market. We did a lot of sweating. You have to understand that we came from Virginia,
which is humid.
True, we by no means are we not accustomed to humid, hot weather. But you have to understand that we left Virginia at the end of winter, the beginning of spring, and it was still fairly cold. And we immediately came into summer, and I think our bodies just weren't quite ready for it. But all in all, when you think about it, we weren't doing any more sweating than we would be doing in Southeast Virginia when we take our kayaks out fishing. If we're out doing anything outdoors, it's the same. So we just have to understand that we came to South America at the tail end of their summer, and it's gonna be hot. It's really only been in the 80s. It's just really humid here in Guayaquil, and like I said, it kind of just hit us like a ton of bricks. And
he loves to adventure out where you have to do a lot of walking upstairs. And for me, I have a bad knee. So
I have two bad knees.
I have a bad knee, two bad knees too. One hurt worse than the other. But walking up the stairs to the lighthouse, which is
Las Piñas.
446.
Yeah, 444, 450 steps.
We didn't make it. On a humid day. Yeah. I think we made it to 225, if that.
It might have been 270 or something like that. I can't remember.
We didn't make it all the way
This
up.
was yesterday, yeah.
And trust me, I was like, you know what? I'm done. We're going back.
We've been there before anyway.
Yes.
Yeah,
at night.
At night, when it was just a much better.
Out of breath.
It was a much better idea to do it at night.
At night, so.
But just enjoying not working and kind of getting accustomed to this new life of ours, and I don't know, really just getting used or getting acclimated and get into the mindset of it's not just a vacation.
It's gonna take a while because it's only been a little over a week.
We're kind of still in disbelief.
Yes.
Almost like, all right, when do we have to go
fly
back home? When is this vacation going to be over? We have to go back home. But then, slowly realizing that we don't have to go back home. So
in a week or so, we'll be going to Salinas, meeting up with friends, staying at another Airbnb. We've stayed at before, so we're kind of familiar with that area.
And from there, just looking around for places to stay more long term. Our next Airbnb will be about a month, and from there we'll see, whether we do want to do long term rental, whether it be in Salinas or Monta or wherever. But somewhere that we're comfortable and we're able to check and tour other parts of the country to see how we like them. And eventually, we want to give ourselves lots of time to make a decision on where to stay more permanently. And honestly, if we don't have to stay somewhere permanently, we have that option. We can stay somewhere for a year and go somewhere else for a year. But we really just want to see, what places we like the most. I think we will eventually get back to the mountains. I know the altitude really gave my wife a problem, but as far as weather and climate, it might be perfect. So we love the beach.
But it'll be to determine. We don't know exactly. But here in White Hill, we have had, I guess, pleasant weather. It was cool. A couple of nights ago, we were walking. It felt wonderful. We took a stroll up and down the boardwalk here. We're next to, what's this river?
Gaius
River. We see a lot of people walking their dogs. We've seen a lot of birthdays, feliz cumpleaños.
I can't remember.
Cumpleaños.
We haven't got much better at Spanish yet.
A little bit. Because,
Poco.
Going into the restaurants really forces us to order our food in Spanish. He loves to throw in there. Go ahead and say it.
Hablo muy poco español. Lo siento.
That's the
I
first
speak
thing
very little Spanish because they and rightfully so, they assume that everyone speaks Spanish, and if you don't, you need to immediately let them know that you don't really speak Spanish. And if there's someone in that restaurant or store that speaks Spanish, they will immediately go get that person. That's happened to us several times already.
Or he'll try to speak Spanish and the person starts speaking English.
True, which is hilarious because I'm thinking that, okay, I said something right in Spanish. I'm like, I'm practicing my Spanish, and this person just starts speaking fluent English to me. I'm like, oh man, okay. I feel like I wasted that opportunity.
Yes, but it's been great. We love that we have a sweet and cream.
Coffee shop.
Coffee shop, not too far.
Oh yeah, within steps.
We have so many coffee shops.
Yeah.
There's Bob.
There's Bob, and then there's Juan Valdez.
Juan Valdez,
which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, Juan Valdez, and they had a running joke at his job.
That's my job. Long story. Don't worry about it.
But it's quite a few restaurants where we are, coffee shops. What else?
Pretty much everything that we would need for just the 2 weeks we were spending here is within walking distance. We really didn't need to go too many other places. We will have to make another trip to the mall before we leave.
Yes, we want to go to the Mall del Rio.
Right, I need to go to Mall del Rio. I'm just looking forward to TV. But we also, since we've been here, we've been in contact with Gringo Visas, and we went to the forgot the name of the building. Trade building. Edificio. Forgive our terrible Spanish. Edificio Trade Building. Anyway, that was part of our
process to get our cedulars. And while we was there, that's how we found the Mall del Sol,
which is right next.
Was around the corner from the Trade Building.
Right. So we're on target to get our cedulars next week
And
before we leave here.
just to put it out there, these Uber rides, my anxiety is just be out the roof, because when I tell you I don't know where the lanes are, I don't even think there are lanes on the road. Everybody just cut, cross, merge, move people over. The motorcycles fly between cars. I just, look down in the car and just hope for the best.
All traffic laws are merely a suggestion.
A suggestion.
Yeah, if you can't deal with that, then you might not want to get into a vehicle. It doesn't bother me nearly as much as it bothers her.
I will not be driving.
No.
We're not getting a car. No.
Not in the near future at all. But that being said, the Uber rides are pretty cheap.
They are.
And we haven't taken a cab since we've been here this time.
No.
We've pretty much stuck with just Uber. But cabs are fairly inexpensive too, and they're everywhere.
Everywhere, which is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, because if your Uber is going to take a while, you can just go ahead and decide to take a taxi.
Right. Also, that Cabify app that I spoke about, the app that I spoke about in the last video, you have to register with the app. So you have to verify your identity. Yeah, you have to have your cellular or your passport. But I think you still also need your cellular, because it asks for the front and back of your ID. So once we get our cellular, I'll go ahead and verify my identity in that app. That way I'll be able to give a proper review of that app when I'm able to actually use it. So
I've read some comments on some Facebook groups where they talk about too much security. I don't know. If I feel like it's too much security, I feel like it's good, because, for instance, the building we're in right now, there's security at the front. They're very cordial. Everyone is friendly. You have to have a key card to get on the elevator, to go to your floor. You can there's a swimming pool, jacuzzi, and a gym in this building. You definitely need your key card for that. You have to reserve the pool and the gym
and the jacuzzi
due to COVID regulations, or restrictions, I should say. But far as the place that we're in, it's very nice. We haven't had really any issues. I would say there has been an adjustment for me when it comes to cooking, because I have a small pot, a big pot, and
one of those flat top
sort of like a
griddles.
hot plate.
Yeah.
And trust me, growing up back in the day, I've adjusted well.
Yeah.
We've had some meals
Yeah.
that he probably thought wouldn't have happened, but I made it happen.
We haven't been eating out every night.
No.
Another thing we noticed is that they don't really use dish detergent like we do in the United States. So you're not gonna fill up a sink with soapy water and wash your dishes. You're gonna use the little cup with the solid.
It's a solid form.
The solid soap that you kind of you rub a sponge, yeah, and
which is pretty.
It's pretty efficient actually.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of shocked me is that I immediately got used to a very small trash can.
Oh.
But for whatever reason, it's just one little tiny trash can, and we have extra trash bags or extra grocery bags that we use to put trash in. But there's one small trash can on each floor for the public to use.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
And what we've just done is just not make a lot of trash. Actually,
it has made us more efficient.
Yeah, a lot more. And also, speaking on security again, there's another guard. There's always one downstairs. There's also always one upstairs near the pool and the gym.
That has to let you in.
He has to let you in, right.
But he also checks to make sure you reserve.
Correct.
If you did not reserve, you're not going in the gym, you're not going in the pool.
Correct.
So that's a good thing that anyone just can't just pop in and
Right.
if they don't belong there.
Right.
So we feel good about where we are.
Yeah. Let's say, we're kind of just loving it here so far. It's really just been an adjustment, staying in contact with family. I know there's people that in the United States that still are kind of in disbelief about what we did.
But it feels no different. I
Yeah.
feel, granted, you can't physically touch your family members, but we still communicate the same way we did when we were there. They call, we talk, we see each other more now through FaceTime, WhatsApp, in Messenger. So they know what's going on with us. We know what's going on with them. So at first, it felt like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss them a lot. And I do miss them, but it's much easier when you have new technology that allows you to FaceTime and see your family whenever you want to.
Yeah. WhatsApp has been great for us, especially since you can use it for free with your phone service away from Wi-Fi. So has Facebook Messenger, which it's the same, and we've been able to stay in contact with everyone through those apps. And honestly, what maybe made this a little easier for us is that back in the United States, we didn't have a lot of guests over at our house anyway.
No.
Not that we're antisocial, it's just that we weren't like the entertain others type of people.
No.
Really, just our kids would come over on any regular basis, and
or we go visit.
Yeah. So it doesn't really affect us that much because the same people that we call now are people that we would call back in the United States. We didn't really come visit. They didn't really come visit us a lot, and we didn't really go visit them a lot. So
it made the transition
a little easier. Yeah. If you're the type of person that's used to having people over 3 or 4 days a week, you might either come down here and immediately make friends or not come at all. Because like I said, it was a lot easier of a transition for us.
Food wise, different produce, meats are, I would say, a little cheaper than they are in the U.S. When we went to the Mega Maxi, I've never seen where there was a whole aisle all the way down of different types of milk or leche from the beginning of the aisle to the end of the aisle. And I just grabbed one. I hope for the best because it was in a carton. It was not refrigerated. So they do have an area where they do have refrigerated dairy products, which would be the yogurt, the cheese. It was yogurt, cheese, the butter.
Yeah. Was that butter refrigerated when you went to that? Okay.
Yes, it was refrigerated. And you find that in the refrigerated. But the milk part that I found was on an aisle by itself. Mm-hmm. You don't find, like toilet tissue had a whole aisle by itself. It was not with the paper towels. Mm-hmm. I had to go on a different aisle for that. So it's just different brands. You have an abundance of things. You're not going to find, it's basically you don't find unnecessary things you really don't need to live. It's like they provide you with the necessities of what you need, but you have different brands.
Yeah, well, we're not really missing much in terms of things that we maybe didn't have room to bring. She does want her cast iron skillets. I can understand that, but wasn't able to bring those. But besides that, there's not really a lot that we're actually missing.
No.
But I will say, and anyone who's watching this probably knows this, is that electronics and appliances and stuff do cost more here.
Yes. Especially name brand
yeah,
that we are familiar with,
yeah.
like LG, Samsung.
KitchenAid, stuff like that. it's definitely going to cost more. So be prepared for that, or be prepared to buy the cheaper Chinese brands. Um, so the Instapot we're looking at, I think we're going to get the Daewoo.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
We're definitely not going to get the was it KitchenAid?
I think it was Cuisinart.
Cuisinart, yeah, definitely not getting that one. That thing costs too much.
I think it was like $400.
Oh, it might have been, yeah.
Like $400.
The Daewoo was like 120. So.
Yeah, the Instapot, and what else
Air fryer.
A toaster oven. So we had already talked about getting a toaster oven because a lot of the apartments or condos don't have actual ovens. So we were talking about getting a toaster oven, and I showed him one that I liked. I think it was like $600.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was only about this big. It was like, I was like, oh man, that's an entire decent stove in the United States. A flat top, a decent stove. So no way. But that was a name brand
it was a name brand.
Yeah.
They have some other ones, but
there were definitely much cheaper options. I'm not saying that was the only option. But
we're gonna look around. We're not just gonna go with what we, the first store we went to, but we will be checking around. And who knows, we may wind up getting an apartment that has a toaster oven.
Or a regular oven.
Or a regular oven. So we're not sure. And I don't think I'll be using the oven that much. I haven't used it in a week since we've been here. So, like I said, I've been managing with this.
Our limited set of supplies.
Been making it work.
Yeah.
But
like I said, after the first week, so far so good. We've got a long way to go.
Yeah.
We encourage you to keep watching, keep checking on us. Side note, I've been checking on Harley. He's doing great. But keep checking on us. Subscribe to the channel.
Side note.
Yeah.
Harley's doing great.
But
okay, back to the little cat situation. For those of you that don't know, I had a traumatic experience when I was little with some furry creature, four-legged creature. I can't really remember, but I know that I have a phobia of cats. That's really bad. So we went to a restaurant on the boardwalk, walked in, sat down, about to have a nice dinner and whatnot. Ordered my food, he ordered his, and so we were sitting outside. There's a lot of restaurants kind of next to each other. So to the left, there was a lot of chairs, tables that were stacked up that I guess they didn't need, or that shop wasn't open. So after I ordered our food, my drink came out. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, this little four-legged creature started to walk out, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, it's just one. I'm gonna do this. I can do this. I can do this. So we're sitting there talking, Next thing you know, here come another four-legged creature coming out the chair. And I said, okay, two. Okay, I'm gonna be okay. He decided, he walks by, I'm still sitting there. And so now my food is about to come out. There was already two walking around. 3 other cats appeared out of this chair, table, gathering of stuff over here that they've been hiding in. So I said, okay, I'm going to sit on the other side of Steve, just to get comfortable so I can eat my food. I already have anxiety, so it was slightly rising as the cats started to mingle and start smelling my food. And at that moment, a 6th cat appeared. So now they're starting to smell our food and they want to come over. And one, let's remove the cat phobia. I don't eat around animals, whether they're dogs, cats, whatever. I don't feel like it's appropriate when you're eating. I understand that people say, well, you're outside. Yes, I'm outside. But I feel like there needs to be some type of restriction, limitations when people are eating their food. You don't need cats jumping up on the table behind you or jumping in the chair behind you, crisscrossing around your feet and whatnot. So back to my phobia, my anxiety. The cat decided he wanted to come over. Steve had to shoo him away. The other cat came from the other side. He had to shoot him away. And at that point, I was done. I had enough. I could not eat. I was no longer hungry. I can feel my my anxiety started to overflow. I became overwhelmed. I am easily, whenever I'm overwhelmed, my anxiety kicks in. I would get emotional. So Steve was like, go ahead and leave, because I was already coming out of my chair, getting ready to exit the restaurant. So I leave, and when I tell you, they were just circling and just walking around. It was just too much, absolutely too much. Now, am I going to be able to get over this? I don't know. I'm working, but I don't think I can get over with 6 cats circling around me while I'm trying to eat. I don't think I can get over it with 3 cats circling around me. Now, if it was 1, yeah, I probably could have dealt with it, but at this point in time, it's going to take me some time. I know that this country has cats, roaming and strolling sidewalks, streets, and whatnot. And that's fine. I mean, if they don't bother me, I'm not going to bother them. But I need to find some way to acclimate myself to being around cats. But it's going to be a slow process, because this is a trauma that I've been dealing with for years that has become a phobia. And if you have some suggestions on how to deal with it, one would not be put me in a room with a bunch of cats. That's not going to work. You're just going to cause me more trauma. But any suggestions, I'm willing to look at. If you have any, help me out. I'm trying not to ruin our stay here, because I know Steve likes to venture out, and I don't want to ruin his time because my phobia. But if you have suggestions, please let me know.
Subscribe to the channel. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram.
Yes.
Live Abroad.
Live Love Abroad.
Live Love Abroad on Instagram. Facebook, Living Loving Abroad. So there's plenty of ways to stay in contact with us. And if you have questions, please send us those questions. I'd love to have like a Q&A or top 20 questions, after we've been here for a while. So send us those questions.
And if you are here and you know of a market, like a farmer's market in Salinas, please let us know. I would like to get some fresh fruit. I love fresh fruit, fresh vegetables that we can get while we're in Salinas. Because we don't really need fruit right now, because we don't have another week left. Yeah. So. All right. Thank you for watching.